Hi, welcome to the first talkie video on my YouTube channel. I mean, I guess the other ones I was talking in, but they were like tutorials, where this is just more me in front of the camera. Yay. So I thought it would be fun to go through and rate all of my very first crochet projects that I still have on hand. Now, I've been doing crochet regularly for like a year and a half. So I want to start with the first crochet project that I did as a crochet along on TikTok, which is my crochet spike shirt. So I just want to kind of go through what I did well and what I would do differently. And one thing I see pretty immediately is the ends all look like this. Can you guys see that? It's giving knotted and not even on the inside, they're on the outside. If this says anything, I have not worn this once since March of last year. When I made it, it is many things, but wearable is not one of them. If I had it to do over, I would use a smaller needle size and a different yarn. This yarn is really heavy and thick. It's a beautiful yarn, but it is hot. It's really good for sweaters. Not so great for shirts. No. And this is literally like, I wish you could feel it. It's like 2 or 3 pounds. And then on the sleeves, I see what I was going for here, like the granny square sleeves. If anybody remembers this besides me, I would be impressed. But essentially, I saw a shirt that looked almost identical to this in Target. Hang on, my nose itches. My air plant is blooming. Sorry. And I was like, man, that's kind of annoying that they're selling a crocheted shirt for under $15. Those people definitely weren't getting paid well. So out of spite, we're going to make the same thing at home, and I'm going to teach everybody how to do it, even though I had no idea how to do it. So apologies for that one. But what I did here is I just used colors that I could find, and you see how they kind of like don't completely work together. It's because the yarn weights are different sizes. Now, this yarn weight here and the brown one in here are the same kind of yarn. I think it's a size 5, and the rest of this is like a size 4, which is why it ends up kind of poofing out like that. The sleeves are also just a few stitches wider than the sleeve holes, which gives that. I'm a big fan of ruffle sleeves. This is not ruffle sleeves. This is like just not a good sleeve. And then I also would have added a collar, and maybe even, I don't know, I kind of like the bottom, just like no, whatchamacallit, no trim. But the collar, I really do wish that I'd added some sort of trim, because I think it would have brought it a little bit more together. That was my crochet spike shirt. I'm keeping it because it just reminds me of getting into this journey, and that's really cool. I'm not crying, I just choked on spit. I am definitely going to keep this, but more as a sentimental piece and not as a wearable piece. And maybe one day I'll do it over again. A little t-shirt with little granny square sleeves. I think that would be really cute. Next project. Speaking of this fucking yarn, this is the exact same yarn. I think I actually used the leftovers for that other spike shirt project, and this was the one that I did first. Hang on, I think this was my first wearable crochet thing that I made once I started really getting into crochet. So this is the gateway drug right here, and I'm just going to try it on for you, and you'll be able to see instantaneously what I fucked up. Come here. I did follow a pattern, which I didn't do with that other shirt, so that was smart. But hang on, I don't really trust this dress very much. So this is it on. It is very warm, but there's one tiny issue. I'm just going to back up so you can see. These are the sleeves. One of these things is not like the other. I have no idea how I managed to do that. But yeah, if I had this to do over again, I would use the exact same yarn and the same weight, and it wears really well. You can see there's like a little bit of pilling. I actually don't know if you can see that, but not very much pilling, and it just ages well. It's a good sweater yarn, and I used the right hook weight because it told me to in the pattern, so that was helpful. But I would maybe add a few less rows on one of the sleeves. And the other thing is that the body is just a few rows too few. Like, it's a little tight around here, which is a weird place for a sweater to be tight, you know? Other than that, I think it's all right. I also think the 2 halves are not even. So I think this half is a little bit wider than this half, and that makes it sit funky. But again, it was my gateway drug, so I'm keeping it. Sentimental value and all that. Oh my god, I'm never wearing that again. If I can find the pattern for this, I will put it like in text, but I truly do not remember. So it's all about how far Etsy allows me to scroll back and look at what I bought. Next one, I'm a little bit more proud of this one. I actually do wear it like a lot. Again, I got this from a pattern that like I had been staring at for months, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to crochet well enough to do that pattern. Those thingies on the sleeves look really hard, but I did it. And in retrospect, I'd do it again. This is a really, really cool pattern. It's like a little cropped thing with these popcorn sleeves, and in the winter, I wear this a lot. Like, it looks super cute. Hang on. Sleeves fit. Everything is in the place it's supposed to be, and you can definitely tell that this is my like third crochet project versus my first and my second, because I had learned things like making the sleeves the right freaking length and making the body big enough that it's a little oversized on my body, and not just following the instructions for a small, even though I am a small in absolutely no universe. Your girl is an extra large and wants her extra large sweaters. So I do really like the popcorn sleeves. The only thing I would do differently is I would have done the popcorn part in a smaller hook size, because see how it's not really giving popcorn, it's giving double crochet cluster. That's not my favorite part about it. So if I had it to redo, I might do this. I might just undo the pattern to here and then redo this part of the sleeves in a smaller hook size, or with like a little bit of a tighter tension so it really gives popcorn, and then continue on as normal. Of course, I would have to remember what hook size I use for the rest of it. That's probably not happening. Nope, this guy's staying as is. And it's just kind of cool to see how far I've come. One thing that I did do a little better on this one, but not much better, is weaving in ends. I see an end right there. It's still weaved in even after I wear it. And the other two, not so much. There were knots everywhere and like little ends and stuff. But overall, I'm pretty proud of this one, considering how little experience I had when I made it. Look at like all of the seams and shit look normal, like a real boy's sweater. So those are my three first projects that I can remember. I'm sure I did a couple of other small ones, but those are the big wearables. And then the other thing that has changed about this is time. So that first sweater, this one took me a month and a half. A month and a half. A month and a half. For comparison, this here, I made a knitted sweater, which to me takes much, much longer, in about 2 weeks. So this one I think took, a month, but it's kind of nice to see how much faster I've gotten, and I really, really don't trust this dress. Stay where you are. I feel like I've talked a lot, but this is probably like not a very long YouTube video versus the other YouTube videos. It feels weird to talk longer for a minute, so I'm still getting used to it. And I think I might have just spit at the camera. Okay, that's a good place to end. Bye!